Hey guys, it's Richard from diabolotutorials.com. In this tutorial I'll show you how to do a basic infinite suicide. There are a few different variations on this type of suicide, however this version is one that you can keep going for a long time and the Diabolo doesn't slow down over time. This trick is technically pretty simple but requires good timing and a lot of practice to master, so I suggest putting in a good amount of time and following the drills in this video to get it working perfectly. There really aren't any required skills to learn this trick. However, before attempting it, you should have basic mastery of the Diabolo and be able to speed it up and make sure it doesn't wobble. It's possible to do the infinite suicide with both a fixed or bearing axle. Obviously, the control required for each type of Diabolo is different, but it won't affect things too much. Usually we enter this trick by wrapping the Diabolo's axle in a wrap start. This video will also explore using a stopover or trapeze start later, but for now just take note that the string is wrapped once around the axle. Because you need to lift the Diabolo with your right hand, the right string needs to be wrapped around the axle on the inside of the Diabolo or the side that's closest to you. If it's not, the infinite suicide won't work correctly. While you do this trick, the string is always wrapped around the axle. If the axle becomes unwrapped, the Diabolo will fall to the ground. There are two movements that you need to make. The first one is lifting your right hand. This will keep accelerating the spinning Diabolo, or at the very least, not let it slow down. It will also help it stay close to the right stick end, which will help with control. If the Diabolo travels down the string towards the left stick, it's much harder to keep the infinite suicide going. The second action is to make a small circle around the Diabolo with your stick end. This makes sure the Diabolo is kept wrapped and doesn't fall off the string. It also resets your hand position so you can lift again. Let's look at this from the side. When doing the infinite suicide, you don't want the left stick to move too far forwards or backwards. It should travel along a plane which is perpendicular to the Diabolo's axle. This will avoid the string touching the Diabolo's cups and tilting it.
The eye within to the firmament. There isn't any.
The most common entry into the infinite suicide is the wrap start.
All is here now. I reach the borderless beyond.
To begin, the Diabolo is unwrapped. Wrap the Diabolo's inside axle with your right hand. As you wrap, lift your left hand up and to the left to keep the string taut. This is the position you should be in before you start the infinite suicide. The right string is wrapped around the Diabolo's inside axle. Your right arm should be extended and the right stick pointing away from you to the right. Your left stick end should be up and near your chest and shoulders. The string should be fairly taut and the Diabolo should be resting close to the right stick end. Begin by lifting your right hand up and to the left. Let go of the left stick at the same time. Because the string is wrapped around the axle, the left stick will travel towards the Diabolo and swing around the outside to the right. When you lift your right hand and release the left stick, make sure your hands are in line with the Diabolo's axle. Whenever learning a new juggling skill, it's always a good idea to practice drills if possible. These should make it easier to master the skills and movements required. Practice wrapping the Diabolo's axle and moving your hands into the correct position before attempting the start. Lift your right hand and let go of the stick. Let the left stick move around the Diabolo and come back to your left hand. The benefit of the wrap start entry is that you can focus on getting your hands into the correct position before starting the infinite suicide. Try starting the infinite suicide without any spin on the Diabolo at all. The spinning Diabolo helps the stability, but the force of the Diabolo's spin against the string can also make it harder to time the infinite suicide lifts. Therefore, it's good to remember to always start practicing this trick with the Diabolo only spinning slowly. It might be easy for you to start with the stopover first. Start with a stopover or a trapeze on the right side. Point your right stick to the right. Lift your right hand and let go of the left stick. Note that the string is still in the stopover position after you've let go of the left stick. As mentioned earlier, the two actions you need to master are lifting your right hand and then circling the Diabolo with the right stick end. Remember that you should always try to keep the Diabolo close to the right stick end. If it slips down the string, it's much harder to control. When you're ready to exit this trick and catch the left stick, change the way you lift your right hand. Don't lift as high and drop your hand once you've circled the Diabolo. With enough practice, you will easily master the timing of this. Note that I catch the stick with my thumb pointing upwards. This isn't ideal as I have to reposition the stick in my left hand before I can continue doing other tricks. I would recommend trying to catch the stick in the regular position with your thumb pointing downwards, or somehow catch it in a way that you can immediately transition into another trick. A really common problem is when the right string wraps around the right stick. When this happens, it's really hard to keep the infinite suicide going because the string gets shorter and you stop controlling it from the end of the right stick. The main reason why this happens is because of the angle of the right stick. When you start to lift the right stick, make sure it's not too straight or tilting upwards. You should try to point your right stick down a little to ensure the string doesn't wrap around the end. It's very common to have the string grab on the Diabolo's axle, and for the left stick to swing around suddenly and violently. There are three reasons why this happens. Speeding up the Diabolo too fast. A lot of Diaboloists think that they always need the Diabolo to be spinning quickly before doing any trick. This is incorrect. Different tricks require different Diabolo speeds. Remember that the faster the Diabolo spins, the more force it can apply to your string, and as a result, it may be harder to control. This is true for the infinite suicide, where the string grabs on the Diabolo's axle and it's very delicate. In short, don't speed up the Diabolo too fast. Using dirty, old or wet string also makes this trick extremely difficult. If possible, practice with new, clean and dry string. Having the Diabolo fall off or not stay close to the right stick can be really difficult to master. The main thing to remember is that it may take quite a lot of practice to completely master this trick, so keep practicing. Once your timing gets better and you can keep this trick going for longer, you may notice that the Diabolo slowly turns on its axis. This is completely normal and is a result of the string, which is wrapped around the Diabolo's axle, interacting with the cups and axle, and gradually exerting a force against them. There's nothing you need to do to try to avoid this. However, if you can find a technique to stop this from happening, please put a comment or post a video in the comment section for this video.